Hey, today I want to talk about a 2020 film called Love and Monsters. This film is actually directed by Matthews, and I think this is his second film, and it's actually written by Sean Levi of Stranger Things. So that's where actually the big chunk of the inspiration comes from. Now I want to say that 2020 was 2020, and of all the things, there were somehow a lot of end of the world apocalypse film, and this is also a sort of an apocalypse film with a disaster and sort of a monster movie smashed into it, but I think it's the good kind. I think this is the type of apocalypse film that should be passable or should be made that can entertain a mass audience, because even though this film is directed by Paramount, I think it was largely distributed on VOD, so not a lot of people actually saw this film in a big theater. But what I want to say is that this film is actually quite fun, and that is mainly hinges on the main character, Dylan O'Brien. He is an extremely likable lead, and the things that he does it is not only relatable, that's actually understandable by any person who's under his circumstances, and that's actually a very good start. And besides that, I think this film is also very straightforward and does not try to convolute things. So also tries to focus on the CGI monsters, which is, I felt like, is a little less. I think it could have been a little more, but in hindsight there were enough monsters and enough fun along the way to remember this. So I think that the character in this film are actually quite fun. And the second thing is, during the middle of the film, actually for a supporting role, Michael Rooker and a kid comes along, and they are part of this journey for him. And I think that's a quite nice touch. Nice touch. I would have liked to seen him, but Michael Rooker does not come and to the end. So actually, curb your kind of expectations, what you want out of that character. And besides than that, there's a love story, as the name suggests, Love and Monsters. But I think this film is actually quite more. I think this film has actually quite cult potential, because even though as 2020 Mila Jovovich made another film called Monster Hunters, which sort of a similar premise, but that film completely tanked and have a different sort of vibe to it, and I don't think anybody liked this. So that film is there, but I think a lot of people actually confuse this film with that film, and I think the title is not just grippy enough so that people will remember. And I think Love and Monsters actually got an Oscar nomination for VFX, and a lot of people were tweeting that they don't even know about this film. But I think this film is actually quite fun, and I think it's going to be quite fun for people who just want to see a monster movie, or a sort of a mid-budget or a lower high budget film where there are big monsters and just enough action and fun and heart in this film to keep this going. And this film, I think, is those kind of films that people just sort of find out when they rewind, not the kind of film that people actually watch, but I wish more people would watch it. I actually gave Love and Monsters 3.5, but I think it's actually a quite fun film for a 3.5. It's a strong 3.5, and I think if you can, I think you should watch this film.